The funny thing is, when you compare it with previous pics, on each of these 3 pictures I'm 85 kilograms, yet my body looks completely different. Pretty insane. Wiser and stronger, or so I thought. The next year I had a major life crisis again. What's up folks, it's Uranus, we're in Brussels, welcome to another videos. So 9 years of cutting and bulking on HRT, starting pretty much from the very first day I entered the gym up to this day. This is gonna be a fun retrospective of how my physique evolved after each cutting and bulking cycle. And yes, I know some people even die by main gaining, but I did the good old style cutting and bulking cycle for pretty much a decade right now. And yes, there are many times where I overbulked. Trust me, so this is going to give you realistic expectations of pretty much a decade of working out on HRT and how I went from this physique to this. Alright, c'est parti. This was my starting physique at the beginning of 2014. That's 105 kilograms after a good 25 years of bulking. I joined the gym for the first time and I started losing weight, or I started my very first cut by doing cardio on the elliptical. This is also going to be my longest cut and I had a lot to lose. Outside of school, I had never exercised before, so the entire gym was wondering if I was gonna pass out on that elliptical or not. That's about 11 months later, at the end of 2014, and 20 kilograms lighter. My main focus was cardio, and I have to say, as much as the beginning was horribly bad, once I got a rhythm in, things were much better weight loss wise. That's also the time I started hormonal replacement therapy, and I finally started going through puberty at the age of 26, almost 26. I kept cutting that entire time. This is where my cut finally stopped, mid-2015, almost a year and a half after the start, and 30 kilograms less. That's also my lowest weight ever, 75 kilograms. Took me almost 18 months. Looking at this picture, now 9 years later of course, I'm thinking I'm looking like a freaking spaghetti. That's also about the time I started my first proper bulk. I was on HCG monotherapy, I finally was producing testosterone in my body and I was hungry as hell. I finally started a lifting routine that was worthy of being called lifting. By the end of 2015, I was back at 80 kilograms and I packed a lot more muscles. My body composition had completely changed, but I wasn't tracking my macros yet, and my knowledge was based on gym bros telling me, son, you gotta eat big to get big. This was the end of my first real bulk, mid-2016. I was back at 85 kilograms and I didn't feel so good because I packed a lot more fat than I had hoped. Bulking without tracking macros is like flying a plane without instrument. At least I looked a little bit big in clothes, but I wasn't in a mental state where I could accept feeling good at a higher body fat percentage. So I started cutting again, and this is at the end of my cut in 2016. I got pretty shredded and even had striations showing up. With a pump and no shirt, I might have looked good in front of a gym mirror, but this is still under 80 kilograms for 1.88 meters. In other words, I was skinny as hell, shredded, but put some clothes on me and I looked like an overcooked noodle. The only thing I was tracking was my weight, and looking back now in 2023, my knowledge about lifting and eating back then could have fitted on a freaking postal card. I started bulking again, but this time things were different. This was my physique at the end of my bulk in 2017. It was the first time I was tracking my macros. So I bulked from 78 kilograms to pretty much 90 kilograms. I was finally somewhat happy because I managed to bulk without gaining too much fat. At 90 kilograms, 3 years after my start, I finally looked like I lifted in clothes. This was my cut of the same year in 2017. I cut down from 90 kilograms to 80 kilograms. I was tracking everything. My lifts were improving and I finally saw some muscle definition. I was still a bit skinny in clothes, but happy with the results without ever being satisfied, of course. That's the physique that got me laid for the very first time at 28, 80 kilograms. Turns out you don't need to look like Michael Harn to be attractive. The next year I messed all of that up by overbulking like a freaking idiot. This was my bulk in 2018. I was in a bad emotional space. I fell in love with the wrong chick, it ended badly, and I bulked from 80 kilograms to 95 kilograms. I was still tracking my macros, but on top of my regular food, I was having way too many cheats and I just let go mentally. She really fucked with me both physically and mentally. I could literally see my physique degrade week after week, yet instead of adjusting, I just kept bulking. But you gotta learn from your mistake, right? What the hell was I thinking bulking 15 kilograms? Jesus Christ. You have to learn to adjust if necessary. It took me way too long to cut back down. This was at the end of my cut in 2018. I got back down from 95 kilograms to 82 kilograms. I might have had the Calvin Klein look, but cutting down for so many months left me exhausted and sluggish. Muscle building wise, that huge bulk didn't help me that much either. Lesson learned, or so you would think. At the end of that cut in 2018, I hit a major injury that kept me out of the gym for quite some time. This was my bulk in 2019, 90 kilograms. I had to learn a different approach to what I was doing because of my injury. I never said this was an easy journey, right? I started lifting more responsibly, and gone were the days where I thought I needed to bulk 15 kilograms to look like I actually lifted. I cut down to my best physique yet in 2019, 85 kilograms. I was very strict and my lifting and dieting approach were spot on. The funny thing is, when you compare it with previous pics, on each of these 3 pictures I'm 85 kilograms, yet my body looks completely different. Pretty insane. Wiser and stronger, or so I thought. The next year I had a major life crisis again. Not only did the world end and were gyms closed for months, worse, we had to stay at home. Belgium was literally the #1 country in the world. You know what I'm freaking talking about. On top of that, I lost someone very important to me. I was grieving, the world was ending both inside and outside. So once again, I stopped tracking my macros and I overbulked like a grieving idiot, from 85 kilograms to 102 kilograms. I kept training, of course, but mostly it was garden workouts and private gyms that still had the balls to let people exercise. You know, the activity that actually improves people's health. Nothing was going to keep me out of the gym. On top of that, I had the bright idea now would be a good time to try SARMs, or selective androgen receptor modulators, LGD more precisely. I got pretty massive, but my body fat was unacceptable. I gained 17 kilograms in 6 to 8 months. Cutting was going to be one hell of a task. Do I regret taking SARMs? Absolutely. I started that shit for the wrong reasons. I needed to numb the pain and focus on something else. It was a stupid decision in a wrong time. I was grieving on pot and SARMs. Who the fuck does that? Anyway, better times. In 2020, this was at the end of my cut. A long ass 12 kilograms cut. I weighed 90 kilograms. 5 more than last year with pretty much the same body fat. I told myself that was the last time I would overbulk like that and do that shit to myself. C19 forced me to quit commercial gyms, and I was now training in old style gyms where mostly you don't have to wait in queue for your machine. This was at the end of my bulk in 2021. I completely changed my approach to lifting and my focus and form during workouts. I cared more about the lifts than my ego. Fuck what others were thinking. My diet was always spot on too. I ended that bulk around 98 kilograms and in a much better position to cut. That same year, in 2021, I got pretty shredded at the end of my cut. And no, that's not Trenbolone I'm taking, or SARMs, or anything other than my hormonal replacement therapy. The vascularity is because of low body fat, a good pump, and C-abs. That's 88 kilograms. I don't like showing my abs because no matter how lean I get, I can't get away from loose skin. I know how to bulk now without gaining too much fat. So this was last year in 2022 and around 98 kilograms again. Cleanly shaven, of course. I cut back down to 90 kilograms by the end of last year, 2022, and again achieved my best look yet. Except for the loose skin, I even had moments where I was happy about the results. 8-9 years of bulking and cutting left me with enough experience to know how my body works, when I need to rest, when I need to eat more or less. Tracking my macros, of course, is always key. This was at the end of my bulk this year at around 100 kilograms at the end of June, and I'm currently in the process of cutting down. I'm already back at 95 kilograms and I know exactly what to do at my different stages of cutting. The picture is taken in extremely shitty lighting, by the way. I'm pretty sure I will reach a best version of myself again this year. No doubts in my mind. If you're still here, man, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you 1,000 times, man. Now, I want you to know one thing about this transformation. Every single year, I have reached my best physique yet, and I've completely changed myself, almost an extreme makeover from start to end. But let me tell you one thing. As much as I'm proud of this transformation, I've never really been satisfied about my physique. It's called body dysmorphia, and I have it, and a ton of guys have it. Now, on one side, it drives me to improve myself and to keep up getting a better physique every single year. But on the other side, when I'm actually fucking happy about the results. That's probably what a lot of gym guys are asking themselves. Maybe it's time to stop bulking and cutting cycles and start main gaining like Greg Doucette is advising. Who knows? Let me know in the comments what you think about main gaining, what you think about my bulking and cutting results. Subscribe to my channel, it helps the algorithm. Thank you 1,000 times for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Uranus out. Man, it's Wednesday, it's leg day in Brussels. Yes, let's do a leg day now. Oh my god. Are we happy about that, guys? Alright, have a good one.